This is Crick Buzz Centre Stage. Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. India once more with gusto. MS Dhoni. Harsha, we said last week that his day's finishing might be over. He's done it twice on the spin. Another remarkable, unbeaten performance, raising his average in successful chases to in excess of 100. What a cricketer, what a phenom.
Did you think, watching him at the end of the game, that people might have been saying how much longer? Because he just treats those two imposters the same, victory and defeat. And here was one of his high points. He batted at 5, then he batted at 4. He got 3 half centuries, hadn't played cricket for a long time coming into this game. And he was there at the end for each of those. You can argue about whether he's putting pressure on somebody else. You can argue that he is batting all the way through and he's telling everyone that is now my role. You bat around. Karthik did it one day, Jadhav did it one day, Kohli did it one day. And that's why, I don't know where Kohli wants him to bat. I think you said he wants him to bat at 5. But every slot just seems natural and perfect when Dhoni bats at 4. The 3 top batsmen before him and players like maybe Rishabh Pant later on, Dinesh Karthik, Kedar Jadhav, Hardik Pandya, maybe all at the other end. He's a perfect sandwich.
Yeah, it was fascinating when Virat Kohli was asked about the position of MS Dhoni leading into the World Cup. He said, no, I want him at 5, not 4. Notwithstanding what happened here at the MCG tonight, he's got his spot as far as Kohli is concerned, Harsha. So the captain seems to have made his mind up. But as you say, it seems not to matter. It's as though he made his mind up today. It was going to finish in the 50th over. Instead, I think the 44th over, he made 1 run off it, 5 dot balls. He just like, oh, well, it's fine. It's under control. It's always been the way with Dhoni that he can manipulate a situation right to the death in a T20 game or a 50 over game. But that internal calculator of his he's the best going around still.
I mean, I said in Sri Lanka a year and a little bit ago that if you have a 240-250 game, there is no more valuable player in your team than MS Dhoni. It was a 230 run chase. Some of us are starting to think, hang on, there was a 4.5 run and over run chase that's gone to a 9 runs and over run chase. And guess what? India won with an over left. Oh well, with 4 balls left, it is almost an over left. So Dhoni has shown that his skills in being in certain situations are not diminished. Maybe he can no longer play the big shots as quickly as he could. And that's why if he's got stroke players around him, then he moves the strike around, then it works really well. But look, we're talking about MS Dhoni, aren't we? How many people thought at the end of a series we'd only be talking about MS Dhoni and not about anybody else? That just tells you what a big part he had. Yes, Kohli might say 5, but I just think 4 seems just right for Dhoni to go to the World Cup.
It was one of the big questions ahead of this series, Harsha. Where's Dhoni going to fit into the World Cup plans? We've had that resolved, but it sort of belies the contest tonight to think that it wasn't Australia's to be won as well. They did take a couple of early wickets. They did pick up Kohli before he was thoroughly set at the crease as well, caught behind Jai Richardson, and my word, did they have the chance to remove MS Dhoni. The 2 best catchers in Australia on their day, Glenn Maxwell and Aaron Finch, both gave him a chance, once at the very, very start and once towards the end, and that was the difference, fielding at the end.
You could turn down and say Dhoni was lucky, or you could turn down and say once he was lucky and everyone gets the chances, he made his luck. But that first ball, I'm on commentary and I'm saying, wow, MS Dhoni at 4, this is what we all were looking forward to. Come on, MS Dhoni, boom. First straight one is straight into Maxwell. And guess what? Maxwell puts it down. Finch was a little more difficult. Yep. Was there a feather on an inside edge one? There's something on the hot spot as well?
There certainly was. Yeah. Before he was set, so he was about 30 or so. He hadn't really started compiling big overs. So there was 3 opportunities for Australia to do the business and win this series. They failed to do so. But really...
the only thing, sorry to interrupt you, the only thing with Dhoni is in that 80-ball partnership with Kohli, he played 55. And so maybe as Dhoni gets more and more into the groove of things after this break, he's not going to have a break now till the World Cup. He'll move the strike a little better early on in his innings. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to from Dhoni now.
Yuzvendra Chahal into the side. He's got a great record against Australia. I was surprised he didn't feature until the 3rd one day. I'll tell you what though, Harsha, if Virat Kohli has anything to do with it, and I'm certain he will, he'll be there in England. He was fantastic tonight. 6-wicket haul on the MCG.
Yes, 6 and tossing the ball up, pushing it through. You saw later Zampa struggle, but Chahal was good as gold. And it just shows how tempting it is to go back to having Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav in your side. You can only do that if Hardik Pandya comes back. And this is almost an appeal to the BCCI. Don't drag your feet on that issue. Come up with a punishment, come up with whatever you want. Let's get that done with and let's move on. Because we can't have KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya sitting back and waiting and saying how much longer, because I think the earlier India know what they're doing, the better it is.
It was fascinating that Chahal didn't bowl particularly fast tonight, threw it up, as you said. Not a lot of drift either. It was largely batsman error, but that's the kind of pressure quality leg spinners create. That's why they're so in fashion in white ball cricket at the moment.
Yes. Now, and also if you remember, at the start of this 3-game series, we had said, who are the 2 players from India you want to look to most closely? One was Dhoni and one was Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Because Bhuvneshwar Kumar hadn't played a lot recently, hadn't played the test matches, coming out of injury. His first spell, I mean, we are a batting country. We look at Kohli got 100, Rohit got 100, Dhoni got all these runs, Karthik finished a game, Kedar Jadhav finished a game. Bhuvneshwar Kumar's first spell, so critical. At no point did he allow Australia to get off to a start because Australia have firepower at 5-6-7, but 5-6-7 took time coming because he was bowling that first spell so well. Picked up a wicket or 2, kept it quiet. I thought the return of Bhuvneshwar Kumar was only marginally less exciting than the performance of Dhoni.
Yep, Chahal, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Dhoni. It was a ton from Virat, of course, at Adelaide as well. Across the border, an emphatic victory for India in the last 2 games. 2 fantastic chases. They win the series 2-1, and Harsha, they can start this long build-up for England knowing they have these gears to work through.
Yes. Only twice in 30 years, I think, has a team come to Australia and won both the Test series and the One Day series. The mighty West Indies did it, and South Africa, who for a long time were the only team that travelled well. South Africa did it, and now India have come back. So it was a wonderful experience being around to see it. You can turn around and say, yes, Australia didn't have Cummins, and they didn't have Stark, and they didn't have Warner, and they didn't have Smith, and Australia's batting was in disarray. But you play the team you're up against. I think there were positives for Australia here as well. I think Jai Richardson is going to be a really good bowler. They've got 5, 6, 7 pretty much in place. Marsh is going to be there, but Australia are a team in disarray, and India took advantage of that as well as any team could.
A bit of self-indulgence, Harsha. It's our last blog of the series. We've had a tremendous time, and thanks for all the lovely comments and kind support for Crickbuzz Unplugged and Crickbuzz at Stumps and now Crickbuzz Centre Stage. It's been a marvellous experience.
Okay, I'll ask you something. He's not bad, is he? I first met Adam Collins. We did the blogs in England. Now we're doing the blogs in Australia. Hopefully we'll keep doing them, but he's not bad. What do we call it? Centre Stage. Centre Stage with Adam Collins and Harsha Bhogle. It's really his baby, so you can do the final honours.
We'll see you guys soon. We'll see you at the World Cup.